Welcome to the JCPod. I'm your host, JCP, or Jaden Chandler Parnell. Thursday episode, as you can see, different background this time. We're out of the hardwood season of college basketball. Not going to talk about NBA too much, I don't think. I think I've just decided this year that I don't think I'm going to touch on it too much. I think it's just, I'll touch on like the game scores that happen and everything, but you won't see like deep dive breakdowns. I think I decided I'd rather touch on baseball before I touch on NBA, so that's where we're at with that. But for today, background's just kind of like for a mood setting. Now we're going to talk about the main story today. Is this a make or break season for Dak? As most of you know, as most of you know, especially NFL people, Dak Prescott has been on the Cowboys for a while now, and it's been a while. So I think it's to the point now where it's like this is their make or break season. And I think that if they don't do anything this season, I think that we might see a new quarterback at the helm of the Cowboys, which is very intriguing because it's not very often that you see guys. I'm not going to say he's like an amazing, great quarterback caliber, but he's still a good quarterback caliber. It's not very often you see like the good quarterbacks get moved on, but that's just how the times are now. Times are changing, and times are changing, and now that teams are more open to moving on from people quicker. I just feel like it's going to be the end of his season. I think it's Super Bowl or bust for them. Like, I don't even think he can get to a conference championship game and keep his job. I think that basically it's going to come down to them going all the way, and it's just not him alone. Big Mike McCarthy is probably going to be gone too if that can't figure it out. Yeah, because they already got rid of Kellen Moore. It was kind of this offseason. That was kind of a decision where I'm assuming it's more of a like, hey, Big Mike talked to Jerry and he's like, hey, listen, Kellen, it's between me and you know how this business goes. I got to take you out to keep my job. So if I would Kellen Moore, which I was happy with, I think that I'm kind of with Big Mike. I think he should have ran the ball a little bit more. I think that I think they were relying a little too much on Dak. I think Dak's definitely a really good quarterback, but I almost see him like where he's more of like the younger Russell Wilson, where the play action game and the run game could be huge to adding to make it easier on him. Because, I don't think that they're going to win a game if he's throwing 40, 50 times a game. And it's not just saying like he's a bad quarterback. It's just that's not how they're going to win games with Dak Prescott. He's not the guy that can just sit back there and make throw after throw without giving the other team one or two. There's very few people who can do that. I mean, we saw it with Josh Allen didn't have some games where he can't just sit back there and throw it every single game, but it's like, I thought that quote that Big Mike said was actually, like, barely. I really liked it. Like how he said Kellen Moore wanted to light up the scoreboard. He wants to give his defense rest. Like, I truly believe in that because as an offensive coordinator, you just want to score points. You aren't thinking about, like, obviously, like, he wants his team to win and he's, like, watching situations. But his main focus is just on the offense. Like, hey, how can we maximize points every single drive? And sometimes maybe the plays he schemed up weren't the best, so the defense would go out there on 3 and outs and have a tougher time to stop. With Mike McCarthy, I think they're going to run the ball more. And then, which is really weird then why they get rid of Zeke. I thought Zeke would be good for the occasional goal line carry. Makes you wonder, because obviously Tony Pollard only carried max 15 times a game. In college, he never carried over more than 15 times a game. I'm fairly confident in that. I'm not sure that's exactly true, but if he did carry more than 15 times, it's very, very rarely. In the NFL, for sure, he's carried more than 15 times, I think, once in a game, so obviously, he's not going to do it all alone, especially with how the NFL is nowadays. He's going to get some help. Who's he going to get help from? That's the real question. Do they sign somebody in free agency who can help him? Do they get Zeke back? I don't know. There's a lot of questions. I really am curious to see what that will be answered. But Dak was drafted in the 2016 draft, so pretty sure about fourth round of that draft, and so he's been there for a while. It's almost 2023 now. Dak's been there for a while. Yes, he backed up Tony for a year or two and then came in after Tony got hurt and kept the job ever since. But, like, man, Dak's it's just been tough, man. Like, obviously, like, anytime you're a Cowboys quarterback, you get compared to the 90s greats who actually won them Super Bowls because they haven't won any since. But he's had a tough time there. I mean, whether it's just like, it's not like they haven't been good. I'm not saying that. Like, Cowboys have had good seasons. They have been good. It's just, man, whenever they get to the playoff, they just seem to unravel. Whether it's the play where he's running and he scrambles, he can't get the ball down quick enough. If it's the Zeke game where Zeke's at center getting blown back, and that's their final play, like, for whatever reason, like, whenever they would get to the playoffs, they just could not get it done. It was basically just like they hit some wall or something. They could have good seasons, and they would just hit the playoff wall, and it just sucks for them because, yeah, like, Dak Prescott has been close to breaking through a lot of times, and they get to the playoffs a decent amount. They just haven't been able to get over that hump, and the closest time they did, there was that Aaron Rodgers game. Like, it's just, he's just been very, I don't want to say, like, unlucky, because that's what happens in the NFL, but, like, he has just not been, he just hasn't had the best. So, like, yeah, when it comes to his win-loss, he is 2-4 in the playoffs, which is not the best. So 2017, they made it all the way to the division. They made it to the divisional. Like I told you, that's when they lost the Aaron Rodgers game. The next year, they would beat Seattle, but then lose to the Rams. And then last year, they lost in the wild card to the 49ers, like I told you. This year, they won in the wild card against Tampa Bay, but then they lost in the divisional to 49ers. And this is crazy because, like, in that game against the Bucks, they looked amazing. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this might actually, like, be a team that, like, can do something. And then, nope, they just turn into, like, the same old Cowboys where they just tend to struggle a little bit. And it just sucks for Dak. He's done well for them. I mean, he's basically done everything they can ask for. He's gotten them in the playoffs. He's gotten them right there. He just hasn't been really able to get them over the hump. He hasn't made it past the divisional round, and that's definitely something that's a bugaboo. It's an issue. Like, it's definitely something that's not been forgotten in this franchise, and that's what's kind of led it to this road. Because now we're to the point where I don't know if it's fully came out yet. It could have, like, some rumors, reports, or anything, but I am, like, fairly confident that this is going to be the last year we see Dak Prescott in a Cowboys uniform, unless he... I mean, now that I open up the book a bit, if he gets to a championship game, they probably give him a little bit more leeway, I would have to say. But past the championship game, yeah, I think this is the last we see of Dak Prescott, Big Mike. I think it becomes Dan Quinn's show. And they turn into a more defensive-focused team first, and then they'll hire some other offensive coordinator, which this just begs the question about the whole Kellen Moore thing. Like, I get it was probably his time to go and everything, but, like, they got rid of Kellen Moore this year, and if it doesn't work out, they're going to hire Dan Quinn, and need an offensive coordinator anyway, but that's why I'm very confused on that part. But Big Mike is calling plays this year, for those who don't know, so he's going to try, like I said a bit earlier, it's going to be a lot more of a run emphasis, but man, it's going to be very interesting to see how this Cowboys team turns out, because like I said, Pollard's still coming off injury, so they still don't technically have a running back. Are they going to sign Zeke? I don't know. I would think that Zeke would go back there for some change, but if somebody's going to offer him more money to basically do the same role he's doing, I'm sure he would not take that without a question. I guess as of now, their running backs are Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Ronald Jones, and Tony Pollard. So it's Tony Pollard and Ronald Jones show. That is... I will admit, though, they do have some receivers. They did get Brandon Cooks. So they have Brandon Cooks now, Michael Gallup, Peyton Hendershot, who should be coming back decently for them for tight end. They still have Devontae Turpin, CeeDee Lamb. They did lose Dalton Schultz as well. So they lost two key pivotal pieces this last few years Cowboys team, and so far, in my opinion, they have not done too much to fix it. I mean, like, yes, Zeke only averaged like 2 or 3 yards a carry, but he was still like running people over doing well. I don't know if Ronald Jones is going to be able to do that exactly. Probably. I mean, he's the bruising type of back, but is he going to be as effective as Zeke was? I don't know, because he didn't really play last year. He kind of just like rode with the Chiefs basically to a ring. So I just truly don't know how he's going to do when it comes to Zeke. And when it comes to the tight end, I think a lot of people like Peyton Hendershot. I'm pretty sure he's out of IU. Could be wrong, but a lot of people I think like him. Shannon Sharp especially has been coming out to say like he really likes the guy and he think he'll be decent, but their replacement Dalton Schultz has been proven so far and has done stuff. So that's going to be, my opinion, like, I want to see Hendershot do a little bit more. So I'm not going to say fully that he's I don't want to say that. It's just, yeah, that's my point, man. Like, and then for the receiver room, they still got CeeDee Lamb. They lost Amari Cooper, and now they've placed Amari Cooper 2 years later with Brandon Cooks. Like, they have not helped out Dak very much at all. I know this is kind of turning into Cowboys roast session a little bit, but that's not the main point of this. Like, the main point of this is, like, you see what I'm saying, like, all this around Dak Prescott. And then at the end of the day, all this gets laid down to Dak Prescott because he's the quarterback of the team and that's how it's supposed to go. But, like, I view this similar, like, almost like, man, offensively, they almost feel like the NFC's version of the Ravens where they just have no receivers. Like, don't get me wrong, CeeDee Lamb's really, really good. They're already beating the Ravens in that aspect. I think Cowboys have better core players than the Ravens do. It's just like, when you look at it, it's like they have CeeDee Lamb. Now they have Brandon Cooks, but, like, outside of that, like, they don't got any, like, guys. They got some guys, but they don't got guys. And get rid of Amari Cooper. Like, I understand they probably want to do it to let CD be a true one, but, like, you can never have too many weapons. I mean, you see what the Bengals are doing. And it's just like, all this just comes off an NFC where the Giants got better. They signed Daniel Jones. I about said it again. About said that R word. The Commanders. Not even the Commanders. Not the Red. I'm not going to say it. Not the Redskins. It's the Commanders. No, but they took a little bit of a step back. So, like, that opens up for the Cowboys a bit. The Eagles, I don't know what they're going to be. They lost a lot of pieces. I'm very intrigued. It's very hard to go back to back-to-back Super Bowls, so I'm very intrigued to see how they do. I think they'll have a little bit of a step down this year. I mean, you can't just lose your OC, DC, 2 or 3 of your weapons in, like, almost every position and then just be perfectly fine. Like, I think they're going to have a little bit of step off. They can still be a playoff team, but that being said, like, this is, like, a division where the Cowboys can get some right pieces. Like, I mean, they could go. I mean, they haven't changed. Out of all the teams in the NFC, I think they're the most to stay the same, I want to say. Like, yes, they got rid of their coordinator. But, like, the Giants, they're bringing in tight ends. They're trying to revamp their defense a little bit better, especially with the linebacker core. They're, like, trying to do all that. The Commanders, they're the Commanders. They're always trying to rebuild, it seems like. The Eagles, they're going to have a few changes here and there. The Cowboys are the only team in that division that, for the most part, is going to bring back a majority of their guys, I'd say. So, it should make them the division favorite. I don't even know if FanDuel has those odds out. I'm going to look real quick just for this show's notes. But yeah, man, like, when it comes to Dak Prescott, this is going to be a huge year for him. I've laid out a lot of situations for them where it's where you can see, like, they're going to need to step it the hell up all around him, and especially to him. Like, he's going to have to step it up this year. Like, there's no more of what he's been doing these past few years, and I think he's been getting a bit better and better by year as he's been maturing. But there's, like, the make or break here. I'm not going to say, like, this is going to sound terrible, but he's kind of like in a Derek Carr version of his phase. Like, Derek Carr just got stuck and stagnant where they did the same thing almost every year with the Raiders, and then it just got to the point where they're just moved on from him. So it's kind of situation for Dak. Dak's now, when he has made the playoffs, he's been stuck in the divisional round. So, yeah, I mean, it's very important that they figure this out. Okay, so they have that's NFL draft picks. For NFL futures, so Cowboys have the 6th best odd at 1,300. I don't know if I fully believe that. They have Lamar Jackson at MVP, and he could still sit out this year, so that's very interesting. Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons leads the way, which is a good sign for them. But here we go. Conference winners. The Cowboys are 3rd in their conference to win it. Man. It's just, okay, sidetrack. The NFC is, I think this is, man, the NFC is kind of soft, isn't it? Because, like, I'm viewing all these teams with quarterbacks. So, I'll just go down the list of teams. So, like, 49ers injured, so we'll just go Brock Purdy, Trey Lance. Eagles, Hurts. Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Lions, Jared Goff. Saints, who the hell knows? Just kidding, Derek Carr. New York Giants, Daniel Jones. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love probably. Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Seahawks, Geno. Panthers, probably drafting guy. Bears, Justin Fields. Commanders, Howell. I mean, like, these odds are insane, dude. Like, I'm just looking at the NFC. It's like, my lord, they're weak. So here are the quarterbacks to name you. Let me just go through. By the way, I said the Packers because they want to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. So this is assuming that he's going to go to the Jets. And then listen to these quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence. Just like, that's my point, man. Like, this is crazy. Like, NFC is crazy. Basically, like, what I'm trying to say from that is the NFC is wide the hell open. They're 2nd in their division, too. It's Eagles plus 110, Cowboys plus 170, Giants plus 550, Commanders plus 9, 50. Like, dude, I mean, they have a real shot this year. Dak Prescott just truly needs to figure it out. And it's going to come down to what can he do to get better this season. The turnovers having a bit of an issue. The turnovers and missed throws are the big thing I need to pick up. There's some big spots. He just misses a throw just barely. Misses his guy by like just that much. I mean, everybody else needs to help him out around too. But I mean, just yeah, I think this is gonna be a big year for Dak Prescott. It's gonna come down to like last year, 2022 passing yards. Yeah, he only had like 2,028. He had 2,800. Okay, just listen to these numbers. I'm just like baffled by these numbers. So we're gonna go the year before he was injured. He had 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11. The year he was injured, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,800 yards. Still, like, that gives you a decent idea. The year after, when he came back, 2021, 4,400, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And last year, 2,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He has to protect the damn football. 15 interceptions is terrible. I mean, that's really bad. And they were 8-4. Like, that's really bad. He needs to. That's the most in his career by far. He had 4, 13, 8, 11, 4, 10. So the way the pattern goes, like, so this was last year was supposed to be a year where he only threw 4 or 5 interceptions because he would throw for 10 or 13, and then a year 4 or 5 and all that. And then yeah, he had a really bad year. So I mean, I think it comes down to this is his make or break year. I think that this is the year that they have to go really far. They have to win a Super Bowl. We're going to see Dak Prescott on a new team. I mean, the Cowboys have been the Dak Prescott Cowboys for a while. I think Jerry Jones is getting a little restless since, you know, I don't think I'm breaking any truths or telling any secrets here that Jerry Jones is getting older and he's not getting any younger. So he is probably going to want to, like, flip it around here soon and not see the same product every single time as much as he does love Dak Prescott. It's just crazy to think about that, yeah. We're probably going to see a new quarterback. He's probably going to be on a new team because I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl next year. The odds are really good. I'm not going to say they don't have a shot because that's just being ignorant, but it's going to be tough for them, man. I think they still need some upgrades to make and everything, so that's going to be most important for them to do. But yeah, that's basically that's a 20-minute breakdown of the whole Dak Prescott situation, basically. Somewhere close to that, probably a little less, maybe a little more, depending on what gets cut and everything, but for the most part, that's like my views on Dak Prescott. I think it's a huge make or break year for him. I think he has to cut down the interceptions, do some better throws. If he wants to be a quarterback at the Cowboys, he has to do all those things. There's a good chance he's probably going to be a quarterback of another team upcoming here soon, which is not, with the NFL how it is nowadays, it's not the most surprising. I mean, we just watched Derek Carr move on to the Saints. We're going to watch Aaron Rodgers, who was for years in the Packers, move to the Jets. It's just very shocking. And yeah, basically to end it, I'll talk about a little baseball standings. We're almost done with our second series, going to our third. In the AL East, I'll give the top two teams from every two divisions in and out. Rays, undefeated team, 6-0. The Yankees are 4-2 right behind them. AL Central, the Guardians are 5-2 with the 4-2 Minnesota Twins, who just got caught in 2 losses. The AL West, we got the LA Angels, 4-2, very early in the season. Usually this is what they do. They win in the early season, then don't win in the second half. And then the Rangers are the second team at 4-2. Braves for the NL East at 5-1, and second is the Marlins at 3-4. That division is disgusting to look at the records. Brewers are 5-1, Pirates are 4-2 for the NL Central, and then the NL West, Dodgers are 4-2, Diamondbacks are 3-3, and that's also a disgusting division when it comes to the record. But yeah, I'll probably end it here today. I don't have too much other news I'll talk to you Friday. The usual Friday, I'm going to appear on a show with my boy, I'm assuming, in the morning. Probably talk baseball, because that's what the season is now. But, yeah, NBA playoffs start next week, too, so I'll touch on matchups a little bit here and everything. But I don't know if I'll give out bets and stuff like that for it, because I've just about had it with the NBA. Little rant to end the show. When it comes to betting the NBA, touching the NBA, with stuff like that, I am just so goddamn irritated. Last night I bet the Lakers. That's one of the losses. Like, I'm not mad about. That stuff happens, everything. Took player props I'm mad about because the last time I bet player props, Giannis got his rebound taken away, so that really irritated me. But, man, I just can't get games right. Had a little fun, like, 4-leg parlay that I didn't expect to hit. Came down to the last leg. That, of course, didn't hit after they were covering all game. That was really irritating. Bet on the Pacers like 2-3 games ago at 23.5, and they lose by like, no, it's 22.5. They lose by 23. Like, stuff like that, man. Yeah, I just be getting pissed off with it. So I don't know if we'll be giving out bets for it because the NBA just takes my money at this point, it feels like. But I will at least touch on it because it is a sport that's going on right now, so I'm not going to neglect it. But thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed. On Monday, we'll be coming, or I guess Tuesday, we'll be coming back with more NFL news, just more NFL news and more of what's going around the sports world. Next Thursday, probably another episode similar to this where I go over a specific player. I haven't decided yet. Maybe Lamar. I probably should do that before he actually signs to a team, but we'll see, man. That's all for next week, but yeah. Tomorrow I'll probably appear on Captain by Hook with the Red Beard if you want to tune in that. If not, I'll see everybody on the normal Tuesday episodes for the NFL breakdown news and everything, and just, yes, sir. Thank you all for watching and everything, and then, yeah, like I said, I'll either see you Friday or I'll see you Tuesday.